Hello, Fredonia. Welcome back to your favorite educational history show that comes live to you every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. That is right. You are listening to The Big Mike Show. I'm your host, Nick.
I am Big Mike.
And welcome back. Mike, do we have any grapevines in the box that we can read off?
Double check. Seems we do not.
Ooh, that's a shame.
Very much is a shame.
That's a teachable moment.
I love teachable moments.
So do I. So I decided to make a night of them. Let's see. What date is this? We are going to be looking at the 23rd, I believe, of this month. March 23rd at 6 p.m. in the Williams Center in 204 DE upstairs. You can find the Teachers Education Club, TEC, hosting lesson night. This is going to be a great event. It should be a good time. You're going to have everybody coming down and doing lessons on whatever they choose to fancy, as long as it's school appropriate. I believe right now we have somebody who's going to teach a lesson on the reincarnation of Trisha Paytas.
Oh.
So if you're interested in that kind of thing, come down. There will be food, there'll be good times, and you can watch some of your peers teach their first lesson, or maybe teach another lesson, or their third lesson. I don't know how many they taught by now, but it's going to be fun.
You know, I might have to partake in this.
You might have to call off of work.
I might have to call off of work for this, actually.
And that's perfectly fine. So, well, it's kind of a shame. It seems we're a little bit late in the booth tonight.
Yeah, some unforeseen complications.
Sorry about that. However, that's okay, because we got some fun things to talk about. Who are we talking about today, Mike?
We are talking about my personal goat, Charlemagne, or Charles the Great. Now, he was the king of the Franks and emperor, or was it Emperor of the Romans, I believe the title was? Let me double check. Gotta get my facts straight here.
He was merely the emperor.
Yes, Emperor of the Romans.
Not the Romans you're thinking of.
What Romans would...
That would be the Roman Empire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Other Romans.
Different Romans. So, Charles, or Charlemagne, as many people know him, he actually comes from a family of great people.
They don't call him Charles the Lame.
No, they do not.
They call him Charles the Great.
His grandfather was Charles Martel. Now, what can you tell me about Charles Martel, Nick?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. That's a shame. Well, Charles Martel, he was also king of the Franks, and he had fought in the Battle of the Tours against the Umayyad Caliphate after they had conquered Spain and started going to France. And he stonewalled them, basically, stopping the spread of the caliphate into Western and Central Europe.
That's how it's done.
And from then on, Europe wasn't really, France was owned by the French and everything, and yeah. Now, move a little bit later, and we have Pepin the Short, which is Charles's son and Charlemagne's father. And
what a name.
I kind of feel bad for him.
Because he's named the Short?
Well, not only that, I mean,
Your name's big.
that is, yeah, I mean, getting called the Short is kind of mean. But besides that, he is sandwiched between Charles Martel and Charlemagne. At least throughout history, they were considered some of the best European leaders.
His greatest legacy is birthing Charlemagne and being known as the Short.
Yeah, I feel bad for the men.
It happens.
Anyway, finish out the context. Charlemagne was given basically joint custody.
I'm sorry, is that In the Meantime playing again, I hear?
Why is that playing again?
Somebody's got their playlist on loop.
No, I don't. Why is it playing again?
So nice, we had to hear it twice. Keep going.
Indeed. Anyway.
Indeed.
All right. So, Charlemagne had joint custody of the kingdom of the Franks with
and
his
what
brother.
were the Franks?
So they were a ethnic group of people coming from northern Central Europe,
Mm-hmm.
and they migrated into Gaul, which is modern day France, and they just kind of set up shop there.
You know, they go back pretty far.
They do go back pretty far.
They go back further than the Romans.
They do.
Do you know what they were called? What
No.
the name Franks means?
No.
It means the ferocious.
Hmm.
That's the title they were given. The ferocious. Or the Franks.
Okay. Anyway, so he was given joint custody of the kingdom with his brother, Charlemagne. Now, Charlemagne died,
Rip.
and Charlemagne got his brother's half of the kingdom. Now, with this, Charlemagne, he wanted a little bit more.
Naturally.
So, he looked towards Saxony, which is northern Germany in
Yes.
today's borders. He wanted to basically spread Christianity. He was a very religious man.
It wasn't just the Roman Empire. It was the Holy Roman Empire.
It indeed was.
Indeed.
So he decided to go to Saxony, and he was like, hey, you guys should be Christian. They were like, nah, fam. Well, a 30-year brutal war happened after that.
Where they ran the fade.
They did run the fade.
And boy, did they get faded.
They indeed did.
He low-key obliterated them
Oh, no, yeah, completely.
for 30 years straight.
Yeah. It was, I mean, there was forced conversions to Christianity, just, bend the knee or,
And that was after they were imprisoned as well,
yeah.
for the most part. I mean, he would just capture a lot of them, and the choices were death or God.
Yeah.
Which is a common theme throughout history of conquering and such, but that's a discussion for another day.
That it is. So, along with that, there were just mass executions as well. Now, because most of these people, they wouldn't want to convert. And what was God or death? They got death, and in some cases, it was a lot of death. Say, the one massacre at Verdun, which was one of the more notable massacres oversaw by Charlemagne. Now, after, Saxony, or while, subjugating Saxony, he decided to go down to Italy. Now, as we all know, Italy is the home of the former Roman Empire.
Yes.
So, in his eyes, this was a gold mine.
He wanted to be the Roman Empire so unbelievably bad. We'll get to more of that later.
He was basically their biggest fanboy. So,
Oh, yeah.
Italy was a must. And he invaded the Lombards, who were the ones holding most of Italy at the time. And he beat him again.
Yeah.
Crushed him again. He was crowned king of the Lombards.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, in the year of our Lord, 774 CE, he became the king of the Lombards after crushing their forces.
So, after this, he got closer to the papacy and the papal states.
Which is, the Pope and all of those kind of big religious figures, if you're not familiar.
Yeah. So, he became close to them. Of course, he wanted to further his Roman Empire.
He was good friends with the Pope.
Yeah.
Was this Pope Arnold?
I believe so.
It was the Pope prior to Pope Leo III, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, of course, Italy was a must. He took Italy. Now, he looked south of France after that. And he looked at Spain. And like I said earlier with the Umayyad Caliphate, they were still in Spain.
Yes. He's fighting with the Muslims in Spain.
Yes, and he was still fighting with them, and he attempted to push them even further into Spain.
And that he did.
A little bit,
Oh, sorry.
but it didn't entirely work out for him.
Oh.
He ended up did lose in the end.
He ended up did lose.
Yes.
I hate when I end up did lose.
I can't word right now. Anyway, yeah, so he lost in the end. But it wasn't like a crushing defeat. It
No,
was,
he still retained some of Spain. He
Oh,
had
yeah.
parts of Spain. He didn't
Oh, yeah.
lose all control of Spain.
no. It was just kind of like we're just not going to mess with you. You don't mess with us kind of thing.
Right.
So,
For reference, by this point, he has parts of Italy, parts of Spain. He has modern-day France, Germany. He has the Low Countries by this point, right?
Yes.
Belgium,
Yes.
Luxembourg, the Netherlands. He was the first to actually unite, I call it the Mike bug, the western and central parts of Europe.
yes, he was.
Kind of brought Europe into what we know Europe as today.
And yes, he did.
What song is this? Ricky Martin. Sorry.
Ricky Martin.
Nosy. Anyways, carry on.
So, at the end of his we'll call it the main conquests of Italy, Spain, and Germany.
It was the main quest.
In-
It just hit me. Main conquest, main quest. That's what main quest is derivative from. A conquest.
I didn't think of that.
Me neither.
Oh.
So when you're on your main quest, you're on your conquest. I presume. What are you conquesting right now? What is your main conquest? At the very moment.
Big Mike.
Big Mike is the main quest.
My main quest at the current moment.
Shout out my classes. Side quest.
So, in the year 800, he was, on Christmas Day, too.
Mind you.
Christmas Day.
The holiest day in the Roman Empire.
Yes, it was. And on this day, he was crowned Emperor of the Romans.
Now, people claim that he didn't know that he was going to be crowned emperor. I think it's a little bit of political spin, if you ask me personally. You know, just trying to make him like, what? I'm the emperor? No way. I imagine that's how he sounded.
It's like someone setting up a surprise party for themselves and then walking in and be like, no way you guys did this. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He knew what was going
You know
on.
what he's doing.
But some people say that he didn't, and that's always a possibility to consider. So imagine just walking into your church on your Christmas Sunday, because it's the law now. Big Charles made it illegal to not attend church for no good reason, and it was a punishable crime. So you had to go to church.
You did.
So you go to your Christmas Mass, bless the Lord. You walk in to the house of God, and all of a sudden, Pope Leo III is there with a beautiful crown to place atop your dome and say, you, sir, are now the emperor of the Holy Roman Empire. I've been to Mass on Christmas. I've never had that happen to me yet.
I mean, it might.
It might. That's why I said yet. Chances are low, but never zero.
So,
Indeed.
So the significance of his coronation, it marked the revival of the Western Roman Empire. And with the revival of the Western Roman Empire, it also kind of counteracted the Byzantine Empire.
They were angry.
They were very angry.
Because you just undermined their whole power.
Yeah. And that is also another underlying factor of the struggle between Eastern and Western Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout time, but that's another story for another day. So, this also set the foundation for the Holy Roman Empire. You know, him being the emperor of the Romans and Christianity being a big theme with him.
Which, by the way, he wasn't actually the empire of the Holy Roman Empire. It was more of a title. He wasn't acting. That wouldn't come until the technical formation of the Holy Roman Empire would not come until after he passed away.
That was 962. I believe, with Otto.
That was 962.
Yeah.
Bang.
So, with this coronation, also had a strong alliance between the Frankish rulers and the church.
Mm-hmm.
So, it only helps strengthen Charlemagne's, I guess, divine will, if you want to call it, his religious intent, maybe. I don't know words right now, but
we can say a mandate of heaven.
yes,
Looking back to a little East Asian history,
yes,
with a lot of their rulers were kind of not only decided by God, but it was in their rule to, it's God's will, I will rule.
Yes.
The mandate of heaven. And that's kind of what happened with the Holy Roman Empires, where they went back to that sense of, it is God's will that I will rule. God gave me this position to rule, so therefore I will rule. And that's just what they did.
So, with this new found power and authority, he kind of chilled out with the conquest for a little bit, and he decided to look inwards.
He did have half of Europe, by the way.
Yes. Now, he ruled from the capital of Aachen in Germany. Is that how you pronounce it? Aachen?
Yeah.
Aachen? And he divided his empire up into counties. Kind of like little, almost kind of states, as you will. Kind of like the United States. Little,
right.
Kind of like,
It was inspired
sections.
off the Roman states, for lack of better terms.
Yeah.
But it got a lot messier.
It did get a lot messier.
Because while the Roman Empire had around about 50 individual states that were all unified under the Holy Roman Empire. Sorry, the Roman Empire, not holy. The Holy Roman Empire had around, can you tell me how many?
It's in the hundreds, I believe.
Yes, it is nearly 300 states that were pretty unorganized. Some were independent most of the time, like Nuremberg, for example, and Frankfurt. They were so powerfully rich, just huge economic trading hubs. So they were pretty much, they could do what they want. Like, they were a part of the Holy Roman Empire, but they had a lot to say. It wasn't as unified as the Roman Empire was, as much as they wanted to. It was a little, I don't want to say chaotic, because that doesn't paint the right picture, but it was scattered. It was disorganized.
Yeah, there was like tension, strife.
Right.
The main like federal authority didn't have much authority.
Yes.
Now, at the time of Charlemagne, though, it was more cohesive.
Mm-hmm.
It did fit more together. It wasn't as disjointed.
Right. Before it was technically the Holy Roman Empire.
Yes. So he made sure of this by sending out Missi Dominici. So these were basically kind of like spies, or not really spies, more just like agents to make sure things are running good, to make sure things are happening, make sure like people
which
are
is
listening.
pretty important because communication is pretty rough at this time. I mean, we're only in the 800s.
Yes, so
you don't really have many. You don't have papers going around. You don't have telegraphs. You don't have any of that kind of stuff. So
kind of like word of mouth. Have send a guy.
Yeah,
like
you send
100 miles.
Yep, on a horse.
Yeah,
and he'll come back a few days later. So it was rough.
Yeah. So, and one other thing he also added in was he had these royal decrees, kind of like almost like executive orders in today's, I guess, comparison.
Yeah, it's a good comparison.
They, just made sure the empire ran more cohesively, made sure he'd still had authority.
Yeah.
So, along with these administration changes, he also
modeled off the Roman Empire, by the way.
Off the Roman
he wanted to be them so bad.
No, yeah,
who doesn't?
Biggest fanboy. He also started a Renaissance of sort.
Yeah, good time.
And it was almost kind of like a religious Renaissance.
Well, yeah, Christianity played a large part.
So
some other things that were really heavily promoted during this Renaissance of Sayes, though, was education was a big striving point of his. He believed heavily in the education of his people. And with education specifically, he believed in literacy. And with literacy specifically, he believed in a standardized writing. And the standardized writing that we have today, the lowercase system, is actually pretty much accredited to Charlemagne and his rule and his guide. So for all you people out there that type in lowercase on your text messages to seem quirky, myself included, say, thank you, Charlemagne, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Charlemagne. Another thing that he was pretty big on was church reform. And this came a little bit... Okay, this came way before. I'm looking at 1517 with Martin Luther in his 95 thesis about the church and all of that craziness between the Protestants and the Catholics and the split off of Lutheranism. Yeah, that's a big thing. But yeah, Big Charles was a big fan of education, which is quite funny because he was actually illiterate.
He was.
Fun fact. He couldn't write. And very understandable. I mean, not to make fun of the guy. He only did unite half of Europe together. But yes, he was so keen on education and literacy while he was also pretty unliterate himself. But excellent, that's a good thing to do. Good thing to focus on. Education, never in the wrong to spend time on and money on. And this is coming from two educators right here.
One point I'd like to touch on is his push to have the church and just the religious sects in Europe, having them also encourage education kind of goes against what I feel a lot of people think of what the church was and like what religion was back then, especially in the Middle Ages, because I had the understanding, especially a while ago, and I feel like a lot of other people still have the understanding. The church was heavily against education and, the sciences and math and learning in general because,
aspects of it, yeah, certainly.
Yeah. But,
obviously very against the ideas of evolution and astronomy since, Earth was supposed to be the center of the universe for a very long time.
But I feel like a lot of people kind of misunderstood that for the church hating all education. And all learning because, you learn, you're going to
become an atheist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as we see here, it was encouraged. They were the one teaching. They wanted to teach things.
The man anointed by the Pope himself was very keen on education, so it's quite an important distinction to clarify.
Yeah. So,
Father Europe. That's what they were calling him.
Europe.
No, they didn't call him that.
So,
I just did.
1814. Or not 1814. Wow, that is way later.
That is a few years before the Guano series began.
That is actually. In 814.
There you go.
He died.
RIP.
At the ripe age of 72, if I'm doing the math right.
He was born in 742. He died in 1814. Let me pull up my calculator. Let's see, what was that? 1814.
1814?
Subtracted by 814. 742. Yes, 72 years old. That's a long life.
Especially for that time, that is an incredibly long life.
Incredibly long life for apparently an incredibly long man at the standing 7 foot tall. Legends claim. Do we believe this? Fact or cap with Nick and Mike. Was Charlemagne 7 feet tall?
I wouldn't doubt it. For the mere fact...
You wouldn't doubt it.
I think he would definitely beat LeBron in a one-on-one.
I was just about to say, Edward of Woodstock was around 5'8" to 5'10", and LeBron is 6'9". You have this absolute demon, Charles the Great, standing in the middle of the paint at 7 feet tall.
That's a mean center right there.
That is a mean center. It's a power center.
That is a really mean center.
Now the question is, can he get off his feet? Because LeBron has vert. I don't know about the big mane. He was somewhat athletic, though, I'll tell you. He fancied swimming. Did you know that?
No, I did not, actually.
He was a big fan of swimming, actually. He loved his bath and he loved his pool. And he loved swimming so much that he would invite other delegates and royalty and other nobles and fancy people of the sorts to go swimming with him. He had royal pool parties in the 800s.
I would be so down to go to a Charlemagne pool party.
It sounds like a good time. Do you think there was a grill? No, because they didn't exist yet.
No, they did not. Sadly.
Unfortunately.
That would have been... honestly...
Grilling at Charlemagne's pool party?
I think he would have loved grilling.
I think so, too. Rest in peace, Charlemagne. Gone too soon.
Rest in peace, man. So, he was buried in Aachen, Germany, within his empire, and he was succeeded by his son, Louis the Pious. Now, to go on with his legacy and the legacy of his empire, his grandsons had divided up into 3 different kingdoms. after the death of his son. And because of that, we have modern-day Germany and France.
That's huge.
So not only did Charlemagne set the stage for the Holy Roman Empire, but he also unintentionally set the foundation for modern-day France and Germany.
As well as the Middle Kingdoms,
Yes.
which would be the North Sea to Italy, that kind of region.
Yes. Which, looking back, most of those kingdoms that were kind of disjointed in the Holy Roman Empire, that was a lot of the Middle Kingdoms, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Kind of like Bavaria, Württemberg, Hanover, kind of that area, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're right.
So the empire was divided from the Treaty of Verdun in 843. And from there on, history runs course, Holy Roman Empire, yada, 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 all that. So Charles the Great, Charlemagne, he was really a great guy.
Mhm.
I mean, aside from the massacres, he was incredibly great to Europe.
He wasn't as chivalrous as Big Eddie was.
No.
But he did a pretty great job for Europe. I mean, like I said, united everyone, brought everyone together. Did a pretty good job. I'm sorry. We stopped talking. I'm telling Mike that we have booth plays to play. We try to be slick about it. We try to hide it and talk. That didn't work. I can't lie to you guys.
I've had a long day. I can't think right now.
It's okay. I don't think often to begin with, whether it's a long day or a short day.
Indeed.
Indeed. Bubba, if you're listening, add it to the counter.
Yeah, shout out to Bubba.
Shout out Bubba. My favorite Big Mike fan.
All right. Well, we'll be playing our 3 booth plays.
Yeah, we can
No?
take a minute to listen to some new tunes. We got 2 tracks by Nom de Plume, The Shadow, which features John Notar, and another track, Circle the Dream. And that's going to be followed by ... It's Weird to Exist. And Mike, do you want to tell me the name of this band?
Applesauce Tears.
What an awesome name,
That is an
Applesauce
amazing
Tears.
name. I love that name.
As I said, we're going to give you The Shadow and Circle the Dream by Nom de Plume, followed by ... It's Weird to Exist, Applesauce Tears. And we'll be back in 10 minutes. Hey guys! We're back. We are too loud, I'm so sorry. Is that better for you all? Is that better? Can you hear me, Mike?
I can hear you.
Do you hear me nice?
I can hear you very nice.
Excellent. Well, we only have 9 minutes left, so I'm going to rattle off a quick little litany of facts that I quite enjoyed. So, to put things into perspective, the Holy Roman Empire lasted from 962, which is after the death of Big Charles, to 1806. That is longer than the entire history of the United States, and it is also puts it around during the time of the Black Prince, Edward of Woodstock, just for perspective. Also, for perspective, it is just a little bit short of the Guano series, about 20 years before everything starts, in case you were curious. What are some more facts I have? Charlemagne had 18 children from varied amounts of wives and concubines, and something interesting about his 18 children was he had a bunch of daughters. And what did kings usually do with their daughters, Mike?
Married them all.
Married them off. What did Charlemagne refuse to do with his daughters?
I don't know, Nick. You tell me.
He refused to marry them off.
Really?
Isn't that strange? He wouldn't allow a single daughter to get married.
That just sounds like a good father to me. Very rare for the time. But
Well, I don't know if good father is the... I don't know if I would say that, but...
protective.
Protective for the time. You know, very strange of the time. Very uncommon. Some other things. About over 50 military campaigns he ran. He reformed church music. A lot of the modern hymns and that system we have today is traced back to Big Charles. I have in my notes, wanted to be Roman so bad, OMG, he wanted to be Roman so bad. He promoted Latin, he modeled governance on Roman ideals, and he brought back some Roman architecture in some places in Europe. He had over 3,000 separate states we went over. And my favorite fact is that this man had so much aura, he had so much clout, that different parts of his name his name is so traced with victory and success that different parts of his name actually became the word king in different European countries. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
So, obviously, his name is Charlemagne to us English folk, but that's not his name in Europe. Many different countries call him different things. So, for example, in Polish, the word for king król, it comes from the Polish name for Charlemagne. The Czech name for king král comes from the Czech name from Charlemagne, and Karalis is the Latvian name for king, which comes from the Latvian pronunciation of Charlemagne. So Charlemagne's name is so deeply rooted in, no other word to say it, but it's just swag, that other countries have picked up parts of his name for king. That's like if other countries looked at Big Mike and said, big.
One other point to build off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if I'm mistaken, but I forget the full translation of the name Charlemagne. It's something Magnus in Latin, and it means Charles the Great. So, like, his name is literally Charles the Great, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably.
But
Carolus Magnus.
yes.
Yeah. So it is quite frankly Charles the Great.
So, anyway, we've talked about how great this guy is.
Excellent.
Now, like last week, I'd like to put him in a scenario. So, Nick, what do you know about the 2017 Cleveland Browns?
They were terrible.
They were so bad. They're the second team in the NFL to go 0-16.
What a beautiful sport. My beautiful franchise. Go on, Browns. Give me nothing.
So, their head coach was Hugh Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And he, of course, a really bad head coach. Going 0-16. The year prior, they went 1-15. Really bad.
Abysmal.
So, they ranked 31st in points, 31st in offensive yards, 31st in pass offense, 27th in rushing offense. Their defense fared better. 4th defense, 3rd passing defense, 16th rushing defense, and 3rd in sacks. So not bad on the defensive side. Now, I'd like to think, could you give this team to Charlemagne and he turned that offensive unit around to make them win at least one game? I mean, you said it so. You said it yourself. It was what? You said 50? 50 campaigns?
50 successful campaigns.
50 successful campaigns. This guy, of course, he was a technical genius.
Yes.
You have to be somewhat tactical with football.
You have to be very tactical with football.
I think if you give him a decent rundown of what football is, I think he's got it.
But how does he fare against the 2017 Pats?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, because
We haven't crunched those numbers.
we haven't crunched those numbers, but the Browns were just not really a good team player-wise.
I think I could have stepped in and won them a game.
You might have. You might have been able, actually. But no, I mean, honestly, I would like to think Charlemagne definitely could have won them at least one game. They're especially with their defense. Their defense was good. They're looking at the numbers. Their defense was not bad.
Now, do you have him as head coach or like a specialty coach?
I'd say head coach.
You have him as head coach.
Head coach.
Okay.
I mean, just as he was the head of the Frankish Empire and emperor of the Romans, I'd say he'd fare better as head of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I agree.
If not, at least offense coordinator, because the offense needs a lot of work there.
Right.
But then again, I think he'd get somebody better in if he was head coach. So,
I think he would have lived to be a great coach of the 2017 Cleveland Browns.
oh no, he would have been great. I think he would have been amazing. But no, I would like to think they would win one game with him. I mean, he's won a lot of battles. He's he's tactically sound. He's a veteran.
Quite tested, yes.
So, I mean, what do you think? Do you think he'd be able to pull something off like that?
Indeed. I think he would.
Indeed.
Indeed.
All right. Well, that is all I have.
Well, if that's all you have, that's all I have, that's all we have, I think it's time to end this little gravy train.
I hate this part.
My
I
least
really
favorite
do.
part.
Yeah.
Well,
Should've-
folks, it has been a pleasure talking to you all about Charlemagne, Charles the Great, and the Holy Roman Empire. But we have nothing else to say, and we are out of time, so it works out anyways. We will catch you next week at the same time, same place, where we will be discussing To Be Announced.
To be announced. Indeed.
Indeed. Check out the Instagram for more updates. You can catch this recording on Downstage, on the Big Mike YouTube channel, hopefully on Spotify. Maybe we'll get back on there. Somebody has to figure that out, and I really don't want to, but I probably will. And I think starting today, you can probably catch us on the Fredonia Radio YouTube channel as well. So you got a few opportunities to check us out if you haven't already.
A lot of outlets.
Subscribe, ring that bell to stay notified, smash that like button, and we've been your hosts, Nick
And Mike. Big Mike.
Big Mike. Thank you for listening to Big Mike. Catch you next week. Later.